What's up guys, it's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel and it's time for another hero breakdown. So today we have the Dune summon which has just opened up and we have a new hero in the portal and it's another one of the Egyptian gods. This time we're going to be having a look at Anubis. So we're going to see what Anubis is all about, see if he or she or it is worth dropping a few coins in this portal. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So we've got a purple hero of the sorcerer class, pretty decent class. He is of the moon family. So in case you don't know, the moon family get a chance to cast minus 24% defense for 2 turns and 196 water damage for 2 turns on any enemy who deals special skill damage to this character. He also gets a family bonus, or a passive, sorry, which is a 60% chance to perform the following actions. So he can deal 70% damage to all enemies and dispel the latest dispellable buff from all enemies. Interestingly, the passives with these heroes are different. So if you have a look at a few of the other heroes that are in the moon family, so let's just grab Tetisheri, for example. He gets that same passive, but it's a 50% chance rather than a 70 or 60% chance. And the same thing will apply to Bastet. Bastet, the passive is a 50% chance. So I'm not sure why they've given Anubis an extra 10% chance, but to be fair, I wouldn't be complaining. If you grab this guy, you got an extra 10% chance to perform that 70% damage and dispel all of the dispellable buffs from all enemies. So very interesting to see that. And the passive is not exactly the same for all the moon family. If you just grab Khonshu, his passive is 70% damage and minus 24% mana generation. So to be honest, I like the buff dispel one a bit more. So far I'm sold on Anubis. The art is great. The passive is great. The family bonus is excellent. So let's move on to stats for this guy. So he has got, with the max power preview on, 907 attack. A little bit lower on the attack. Never thought I'd say that about 907, but it is. 980 defense, decent, and 1831 health. So he's beefy as anything, but he does have a lower attack stat. See, 791. I never thought I'd say that, but I mean, that's the way we're going in this game at the moment. So those are his stats. In terms of the special, so we've got this special which is called the Mark of Anubis, and this is an interesting one. So I'm going to read it and then we'll go through it. So he inflicts the target with greed for 3 turns. So single target he inflicts with this effect called greed. The enemies with greed prevent other enemies from receiving friendly effects from all of their allies' special skills. And all enemies receive 555 poison damage over 3 turns. And all enemies get minus 34 defense for 3 turns. So if you were to just take the last 2 points of his special, he'd be a pretty damn good hero. 555 poison damage over 3 turns, like, that is quite a bit of poison damage. And if you pair him up with a hero who can increase the damage from ailments, he's gonna just be going bonkers with that. And all enemies getting minus 34 defense for 3 turns is a great effect at fast or at average or whatever speed you're at. Minus defense for all enemies is never going to go amiss. But then this greed effect is really interesting. And you can tell me whether you think it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, if we've seen it before, if it's just sort of another word for a special that we've seen before. But basically, it's a status ailment. So he gives greed to a single target, but that single target will prevent other enemies from receiving friendly effects. Now, friendly effects could be anything. It could be a buff to defense up. It could be, mana generation. It could be any kind of buff that they're potentially going to cast on their team, which is going to be helping their allies. He is going to prevent that for the next 3 turns. And that is just, like, to me, that is the same as like a buff block. I'm not sure if there's any effects that I could think of that would be any different. I mean, the special skill increase is a buff. You know, even stuff like that Queen Goang does, there's buffs there. So this, to me, looks like another way of saying that he just blocks buffs for 3 turns. I mean, correct me if you think I'm wrong, or if there's something that I might be missing in terms of this sort of greed effect and the wording of friendly effects to their allies. But basically, the way I'd look at this guy is that he blocks the enemy team from receiving buffs for 3 turns. He deals 555 poison damage to all enemies over 3 turns, and all enemies get minus 34 defense for 3 turns. So on first glance, I thought, oh my god, this guy's amazing. Like, what am I going to do if I go up against him? But if you've got a cleanse, you know, you could pretty much cleanse everything that he's doing, because it's just a buff block. The poison damage can be cleansed and the defense down can be cleansed. So there is definitely an answer to Anubis as far as I can see. But I'm not going to go out on a limb and say he's a terrible hero. But I don't think he's quite as good as he looks, unfortunately. So I think I'd put him in like the A minus to the B plus sort of category. Not a super duper overpowered hero in any means, but he does look amazing, and I think that he could be potentially a pretty good tank if you're still running purple tanks, because of those ailments that he's given. But there are a lot of ailment protectors as well that we've got, so a bit of a tricky one, and it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. I won't say that I would like really love to grab him or get my hands on him. I think I might, out of these 3 heroes, be more inclined to go for Ma'at, just in terms of facing her and her giving the minus 34 defense for 3 turns at fast speed and dealing nearly 200% damage to all enemies. That she would probably be a better option, and doing a relatively similar thing to what he's doing, just minus the poison damage, and she's got a better class as well. So very interesting hero here. I think we're going to have a lot of mixed opinions, and I think it's an interesting way for SG to just get people to spend loads of money in this portal, before they understand what the hero actually does. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Anubis. Please do let us know how you feel in the comments. Drop us a like, subscribe if you find the videos helpful, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one. Bye for now, guys.